Hello students, today we will learn about sound, chapter number 13 of class 8th. Sound. The sensation felt by our ear is called sound. Sound is a form of energy. Sound is that form of energy which makes us hear. We hear many sounds around us in everyday life. Each sound is special to the object which produces it. For example, the ticking of a clock, the click of an electric switch, and the sound of rotation of a ceiling fan are the characteristic sounds produced by a clock. Every sound has a unique quality which distinguishes it from other sounds. Sound plays an important role in our daily life. It helps us to communicate with others. We will now discuss how sound is produced. This is called production of sound. Sound is produced by vibrating objects. When an object moves backwards and forwards rapidly, we say that the object vibrates or that the object is vibrating. Sound is produced when an object vibrates. In other words, sound is produced by vibrating objects. So, whenever we hear a sound, then some object must be vibrating to produce that sound. In some cases, the vibrations of a sound producing object are quite large, which we can see with our eyes. But in other cases, the vibrations of the sound producing object are so small that we cannot see them easily. We have to feel the vibrations of such an object by touching it gently with the fingers of our hand. Sound can be produced by the following methods: by vibrating strings, as in a sitar, by vibrating air columns, as in a flute, by vibrating membranes, as in tabla, and by vibrating plates, as in a bicycle bell. Sound produced by humans. The human being produces sound by using the voice box, which is called larynx. Voice box is situated in our throat at the top of the windpipe. The human voice box contains two ligaments known as vocal cords. The vocal cords are kind of strings. Sound is produced by the vibrations of vocal cords. The vocal cords are attached to muscles which change the tension in the cords and the distance between the cords. When we want to speak, the muscles of vocal cords contract, due to which the two vocal cords becomes stretched and close together, leaving only a narrow slit between them. The lungs pass a current of air between the two vocal cords. The air makes the vocal cords vibrate, and the vibrating vocal cords produce sound. Sound needs a medium for propagation. The substance through which sound travels is called medium. The medium can be a solid substance, a liquid, or a gas. And transmission of sound is called propagation of sound. So, by saying that sound needs a medium for propagation, we mean that sound needs a solid, liquid, or gas for transmission. Sound can travel through solids, liquids, and gases, but it cannot travel through vacuum or empty space. Sound cannot travel through vacuum because vacuum has no molecules which can vibrate and carry sound waves. Speed of sound. The speed of sound depends on the nature of medium through which it travels. The speed of sound is different in different materials. In general, sound travels slowest in gases, faster in liquids, and fastest in solid. We will now describe the organ of hearing sound called ear. The ear are the sense organ which help us in hearing sound. So, we hear through our ear. The shape of the outer part of ear, which we see outside the head, is like a funnel. The outer part of ear is called pinna and it is attached to about 2 to 3 centimeter long passes called ear canal. At the end of ear canal, a thin elastic and circular membrane called eardrum is stretched tightly. There are three small and delicate bones in the middle part of ear which are linked to one another. The inner part of ear has a coiled tube called cochlea. One end of cochlea is connected to middle part of ear through the elastic membrane over the oval window. Cochlea is filled with a liquid. The liquid present in cochlea contain nerve cells which are sensitive to sound. The other end of cochlea is connected to auditory nerve which goes into the brain. Every vibration or oscillation has three characteristics: amplitude, time period, and frequency. Amplitude of vibrations, the maximum distance to which the bob of a vibrating pendulum goes from its central position is called amplitude of vibrations. The maximum displacement of an oscillating object from its central position is called amplitude of oscillations. Time period of vibrations. The time taken by pendulum bob to complete one vibration is called the time period of pendulum. The time taken by an oscillating object to complete one oscillation is called its time period. Frequency of vibrations. The number of vibrations made in 1 second is called the frequency of vibration. Characteristics of sound: loudness, pitch, and quality. A sound has three characteristic properties by which it can be recognized. These are loudness, pitch, and quality. Loudness. Sounds are produced by vibrating objects. If more energy is supplied to an object by plucking it or hitting it more strongly, then the object will vibrate with a greater amplitude and produce a louder sound. Thus, the loudness of sound depends on the amplitude of vibrations of the vibrating object. Pitch. Pitch is that characteristic of sound by which we can distinguish between different sounds of the same loudness. Quality. Quality is that characteristic of sound which enables us to distinguish between the sound produced by different sound producing object like different musical instrument or different singers, even if they are of same loudness and pitch. Audible and inaudible sounds. An object must vibrate at the rate of at least 20 times per second to be able to produce audible sound. Inaudible sound which cannot be heard by us. Noise and music. The unpleasant sounds around us are called noise. Sounds which are pleasant to hear are called musical sound. Musical instrument. We all hear music every day from radio and television. The various sounds produced in music are called notes. in English and swara in Hindi. The arrangement of sounds of different frequencies, called notes, in a way that is pleasant to hear is called music. There are mainly four types of musical instruments: stringed musical instruments, wind musical instrument, membrane musical instrument, and plate type musical instrument. Noise pollution. Sounds that loud and unnecessary are called noise. The presence of loud, unwanted, and disturbing sound in our environment is called noise pollution.